Hey everybody. Another beautiful day, back in the thick of it, but you know, another nice end to the day. Super chill, you know. Feels like we're officially leaving summer, right? But still grateful, always staying optimistic. Like I said before, every single day is a day to celebrate. You don't have a day where however crappy the day may be, every day is a day to celebrate. So find something in the day to celebrate. That's going to keep you healthy. That's going to keep your mental stability, your mental health, your mental well-being in check. And that's definitely going to give you joy to continue to look forward to living life, right? And so, be appreciative of every day and just look into the positivity of every day. But that's not why of today's vibe. Today's vibe is not about that. That is included in there, right? It's just continue to stay positive and finding those vibes, right? It's really important. But today I want to talk about something important, something that is, I keep talking about, the difference between where's that line between success and failure, right? And today this is one of those things where, I was watching the movie and actually just got me thinking again, as you can tell by now, probably, too much philosophical about stuff, right? Because I like to analyze things. I like to take, everything I see around me, I like to just, make that practical to everyday's life, right? My own experiences and just, things that I see around and things that I experience. I like to bring that to real life, because then what is the point of life of going without, being aware of things that are around us, and how much they impact or affect us, or, being exposed to things and not being able to think about those, right? Because I think the ability to think is one of the greatest gifts of the Most High, the ability to be able to think about stuff. So anyways, watching the movie, and there was a sniper in the movie, and I kept watching the sniper. And there was a conversation. I'm not going to bore you with the details of that, what the movie was about or anything like that. But I realized one thing, the difference between the sniper being successful or not wasn't the type of weapon he had or the type of ammunition he had, right? Or even the people around him. The difference was the focus. The focus on the target, the focus on what he would, perceive as a solution, right? Because if he no longer has a target, then his mission is achieved, right? And that's a solution. He's basically provided a solution for his guys to continue and do what they need to do. And so the focus on the mission, the focus on the solution was the difference between success and failure for him, right? And even he say that, that as he was thinking about, his target, he was thinking about, how much his success is going to be provide a solution to the mission, right? And so the focus wasn't about this is too far, the target is too far, and this is too hard, and there's possibility that something can go wrong. All of those things did not cross his mind, because his focus was on the solution, not the problem. He wasn't focused on the mission is hard, on why did they send us here, and why are we doing this. He had a job to do. And the job that he had to do, he realizes that the difference between him failing the entire mission, honestly, and succeeding the entire mission was not to focus on this gun is not long enough, is not big enough. It was to focus on the solution. He focused on the solution. And it also got me thinking about, I remember one time I was climbing a mountain. I think I've shared this before, in Oregon. And one of the things that I remember, while climbing that mountain, I started looking at it. The first time I looked at it was, wow, this is too high, right? And then I started looking at the narrow pathway that people were taking, and it's just, thinking about what could go wrong. And something almost went wrong with my colleague, of course. But that kind of struck me as I was at the very bottom of it, and started to think about, like, we're going to have to go around this mountain on our way back. And somebody mentioned something about snakes, and me and snakes were not best friends, right? And so anybody with snakes is not best friends, especially the ones that have like the worst venom, right? Where they tell you like a bite, if you're not treated in an hour or two, like you're gone, right? You don't want to be alive, right? Which is not surprising, right? Anyways, so when I was thinking and looking at the rock itself, and I started thinking about, this is too high, this is too risky, and on our way back, there are possibilities to be bitten by a snake. And for a minute, I thought, I don't want to do it. Why? Because my focus in that moment was on the problem. And the problem was what? The mountain was in front of me. And my mind went to the problems, the more problems. Than me having to go up there. Oh my goodness, it's an hour and 15 minutes. That's a long time going up. Can my leg hold up? And going down there, like, I don't know, then what kind of rocks are there? What if I fail? See, I went into all these problem areas. And that was my mistake in the moment. Because other than focusing on, you know what? If I went up here, one, I would have conquered this rock. I'm proud of myself to doing that. Number two, I'm going to go down and experience and enjoy the environment and go around and enjoy everything that was in place. That's exactly what ended up happening, by the way. So the minute my mindset shifted from the problems, the challenges, that this is short, this is dangerous, there is no way my leg is probably gonna hold. What if I fail? What's going to happen to my family? All that stuff. The minute I shifted focus from focusing on the problem or the problems and started to focus on the solution, the goal, the success, right? When you go from what if this was a terrible idea to what if I conquered this? Things start to change in you. Things become different. Success becomes attainable. Because your whole mindset is being conditioned not to see the problem. It doesn't mean that they are not there. Your mindset is being conditioned to seeing the product. You are seeing the end goal, right? And so I remember as I started climbing, every time I went up the step and I'll come across a rock and I wanted to go back, I remembered, it's going to be so awesome if I conquer this thing. And I went up, I remember going up, and I got to a certain level, like halfway through, and the passage is so narrow. And I remember my colleague looking down, and she just got dizzy, and I had to kind of basically hold her up because she got dizzy, and she was like, oh my God. And I realized, like, if, you know, that the whole danger of like looking down, like if it's really a narrow pathway. But like being in that space and thinking that way, and then I just started telling myself, like, I don't want to look down there. But then I looked, nothing happened. And I was like, you know, and we're halfway through. Look at how much I've already conquered. And I started looking at myself and I thought, like, what were you worried about and scared about? It was still scary, but I was taking like one step at a time going up. Until I went up, and when I got to the top, like the top of that rock, and I suddenly could see, as far as my eyes could see, the beauty of being on top, of being there. Like I could see the Sisters Mountains. I mean, I could see like the valley down. I could see golf courses. I could see rivers. And I started thinking, oh my goodness, look at the view that I could have missed if I had stayed within that mindset. If I had let the focus on the negativity, my focus on what could have gone wrong get to me and stop me from advancing, from getting to the goal, from achieving at the highest level. And from that point on, as we were up there, I started looking down. I was like, okay, that's the pathway we're going to take to go down and go back. Great, I'm ready to go. I was super excited and super pumped. But when I was at the bottom, looking face to face to that rock, and looking up there and thinking through all these negative things are running through my mind, my focus was on the problem. So I realized one thing. And again, that the movie that I watched last night just brought that to mind, that the minute we need to learn to shift focus. We need to focus. You need to learn to change your focus. Sometimes things are not as hard as they look. Sometimes things are the easiest things, are very easy. But because our focus often, as human beings, right, we're always looking out for danger. Like, what could be dangerous? What could be wrong? Like, I don't want to take a chance, because we always so focus on, like, what could go wrong. It could be really terrible. Things could just go, out of control. And then we lose our focus on the solution. We lose our focus on, like, what is it that we're trying to achieve? You see, our focus goes from, here's a big picture what we're trying to achieve, like success. This is what success look like. We start focusing on the small pieces, and more often we don't even focus on the small pieces of, like, the steps that are going to take me there. We focus on, like, what are some of those things that could go wrong. What if I lost all my investment? What if I lost my eye? What if I lost this? What if? And when that what if combine, like when you combine all those what ifs, that's usually when we lose our focus. That's when we lose our focus. And that usually is a demotivator. It deflates you, because your mindset is so wrapped around negativity, you can't see anything positive regardless of what somebody said. Like, even if you had a really positive picture, it flies out of your mind. It's like it almost doesn't exist. Why? Because all the negativity has come, and all that negativity has enveloped, right? Enveloped all that positive thought. And suddenly you lose yourself, and you see people lose, like, failing, not because they can't do anything, not because they can't do it. When you fail yourself from your mindset, when you start failing from your mindset, you've already failed. When you let failure conquer your ability to see the end product, to see success, you've already failed. And more often, the efforts you have to take, you have to double them, triple them, quadruple them to achieve the same result that you could have achieved if you just saw the bigger picture and just went for it. And focus more on how awesome it would be once you've reached your target, once you've met your goals, once you have provided that solution, right? So I want to say this. The difference between success and failure is often a mindset. It's often a mindset. You think about, like, everything else, it's often a mindset. I look at some of the smallest people doing some of the most amazing things. I walk downtown more often. I went to the Needle, for example, or like one of the highest building downtown, that is just the Amazon building. And I'm looking at it, and I remember driving by there more often, walking by there, and I look at these people. Some of them like 5'2". I'm like, this huge building here was built by some of the shortest people I know. Think about that for a second. Right? You look at this humongous thing. You look at it from the sky. Think about the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. I mean, you see how tall that thing is? Think about the people that built that thing. Now imagine if those people who are, like, probably, between 5'2" to like maybe 6'5" or something like that, right? Think about that 5'4" guy who was lifting up some stuff. If he had looked at the size of that thing, how gigantic that thing was, somebody had showed it to him and he said, you're going to build this thing. And then he started thinking, how can I possibly build something like this? That's it. That's the end of it. But you see, those builders, their mindset is, I want to build something so awesome and so great, something so big that everybody is going to remember me for that. And the minute you set your mindset to that, your size doesn't matter anymore. Whether the size physically or the size of your mental ability or intelligence, it doesn't matter anymore, because your mindset is so focused. You're so set on, like, you know what? I'm going to achieve this thing. I'm going to build that thing. I'm going to get there. I can't remember, a few years ago, I remember there was like a 13-year-old kid who conquered Mount Everest. And I think to myself, and this kid I think he'd been training with his dad for like 5 years. This is a young kid. Imagine that for a second. Everybody coming up with all kind of stuff. Oh my God, it's very cold on top there. You can hardly breathe. Even grown-up have a hard time getting there. But this kid was so determined. He said, you know what? I don't care what everybody else says. I'm going to go there and I'm going to conquer that thing. And when I'm done with that, everybody is going to talk about me. And they did it. And the whole world was talking about this 13-year-old kid. I think it was 13 or somewhere there, conquering Mount Everest. First time ever. Kid has made history, right? Why? Because his mindset was on what? I'm going to achieve my goal. I'm going to climb that thing. I'm going to conquer that thing. And that's a mindset we all have to have. So I'm saying to you is, whatever it is that you are focusing on in life, make sure you're constantly don't lose sight of your goal. Don't lose sight of what the end product is going to be. Don't lose sight. Don't let those negative thoughts come to your mind. The difference between you getting to where you're going and not is really your mindset. It is in your mind. The minute you set your mind to, I'm going to get this thing done. Of course, there are other things that we cannot control, right? And I tend not to pay attention to those things. The things I can't control, I can't control. If I say I'm going to do this thing tomorrow and then I fall sick, I can't control that. But you know what? That's a setback for me. And my mind isn't always going to go directly to like, oh my God, I don't think I can ever get that done. It's like, okay, this is temporary. It is transitional. As soon as this is over, I'm going back. That's the mindset we all have to have. In everything that we do, right? That mindset, the difference between failure and success is a mindset. It is a mindset. It is where you put your mind. It is where your mind usually try to navigate, to gravitate toward. So I'm saying to you today, always be mindful where your mind goes. Wherever you are setting your goals for yourself, where does your mind go first? So whatever you're setting a challenge for yourself, whatever you want to achieve something, where does your mind go? And notice that more often, where your mind goes, that's usually where you end up being. If your mind is gravitating so much toward all things that could go wrong in that instance, you are going to see that you won't even start. You will not even start anything because you've already your mind is like the mindset is like it's a key. If you lock it in that negative space, it becomes super hard to unlock it there. Because you've conditioned your mind so much to be thinking about the problem all the time, to be focusing about what could go wrong, about the problem all the time, that your mind is so conditioned, your mind can't think otherwise. But the minute you unlock that space and you condition your mind to take chances, to focus on the bigger picture, to tell yourself that no matter how long it takes, what are the challenges? You know what? I'm going to get through and I'm going to get there. It changes the equation. And that's what happened in the movie. Of course, that's just a movie, right? But that's exactly what happened. This guy is like, you know what? I don't have the biggest gun on the field. But you know what? There is a solution. I am the solution. And all my guys are looking up to me. And I need to be able to solve this problem. And I'm going to get it done no matter what it takes. And that's what ended up happening. He did achieve that. He removed the obstacle. And the rest of his guys moved forward. That's what ended up happening with me. I conquered the mountain. I conquered the rock. And I was on top, like it just felt like being on top of the world. I could smell fresh air. I could see down the valley. I could enjoy the view. And I thought about myself like, oh my goodness, these are the great things that I could have missed if I had let my mind play games with me. If I had allowed my mind to tell me that I can't do it. If I had allowed my mind to tell me that so many things could have gone wrong. If I had, like, the mind, like that negative thought has a way of creeping in. And the minute you start to hear that, that's when you know what? I need to forge forward. The minute you start to hear that, move forward. Go forward. Push ahead. Like I said, the difference between failure and success is really a mindset. That's the difference between failure and success, even in school. The minute you tell yourself, you know what? Let me let you in on a secret. I skipped high school. I went directly to college. I mean, not all of high school, right? A couple of years. Why did I do that? Because I thought I was smarter. I went to college, my first year in college. Everything was so easy. I went to my teachers. I say, you know what? I need you to give me exemptions because I want to skip these other classes. It's going to be easy for me. And they say, okay, you need to just take a test in this course. And I did. And they passed me. Because to me, it was like, you know what? This is easy. I can jump a couple of levels. I can get there, right? But think about this for a second. The day you tell yourself that, you know what? No, I don't want to take that chance. You know, what could go wrong? See, you're not challenging yourself enough. I could have just said the same thing. You know, I remember setting my target up to get my doctorate before I was 35 years old. I was like 31 years old. Everybody was like, absolutely no way. Absolutely yes way. It's my mind. My mind was set on, I'm going to achieve this at a certain age. I'm going to get this done. It didn't matter what else was in the way. Like, I didn't even know, like, where's the money going to come from? All of those things did not matter to me. I had a focus. I had something to achieve. I had something to do, and I focused on it. And I pushed ahead with it. And my mind throughout the whole process remained on the bigger picture and also on the smaller details. I kept focusing on the positive things. Oh my goodness, I've achieved this level. Great. Level 1 is done. Level 2. And I have a goal to achieve. It didn't matter whether they were level 5 that I needed to go to. I needed to go through, calculus and had to go through all the, geometry. All the others I hated. It didn't matter to me. I had to get it done. I had to go somewhere. I was going somewhere. It is a mindset. And what I'm saying to you is start conditioning your mindset to think positively. Start decondition your mindset to think negatively about everything. Then you will start to see that everything changes. Everything is going to start to look simple. You will start to feel like you can fly from here to the sun and nothing is going to happen. Because you've conditioned your mind so much to be so positive that you're willing to take risks and to do just amazing things, right? And you will start to do amazing things. And that's why sometimes people ask me, like, why are you always happy? Because my mind is already set to the happy mode, right? In here, I'm always operating in that happiness mode. I am happy. I don't care what else is going around the world. In fact, the world around me could be burning and I'm still going to be happy. Why? Not that I'm happy the world is burning. I'm happy because I'm happy. I've conditioned myself to be happy because it's important for me and for others, right? So condition your mind. If you condition your mind in a positivity mode, in the success mode, where you are not just focusing on the challenges. Yes, you have to take those into account, but really you're spending most of your time focusing on the opportunities and the successes in the bigger picture. You are going to start to see tremendous shifts in your life. I want you to come back here and then comment when you start to see that. So, like I say again, flip the switch. Go from negativity to positivity. Condition your mind to see success and decondition your mind to always see failure. That is the difference, my friend, between failure and success in anything that you're going to overtake. All right. Thank you all. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like for your next video when I send on the next vibe. And please do share. I appreciate you for being here and I'll see you next time. Thank you again for supporting Gloria's Vibe. Share the vibes. Thank you. Take care.